As you know, when you're trading on Betfair, you don't always get matched at the odds you would like. Sometimes when you're offered to lay below the current odds, the odds move in the wrong direction, so you can get into trouble. Now here's an example of a race where that happened to me. This was at Royal Ascot. This was a 2-year-old race, 5 or 6 furlongs race, and I'd got my bet on Bet365 at 6.5 on this horse called Moonlight Garden, and then the previous race took place. That was also on the straight at Ascot, and there looked to be a very strong draw bias favouring high numbered stalls. Now Moonlight Garden was drawn low, so the odds straight away went right out. I'd bet at 6.5, and the lay odds started to go out, 7, 8, 9, that kind of thing, and I eventually took lay odds of 10. So I'd bet at 6.5 and laid at 10. Now I luckily the horse lost. The draw bias was correct in the race, so I got out with 33 pence, and this is what I did to do that. Now obviously I'd offered to lay somewhere below 10 on its way out to odds of lay odds of 10, but I didn't get matched, so I eventually took 10. Now at bet odds 6.5 and lay odds 10, you can see that if the horse loses, I was going to lose £9.17. So I decided that if the odds were drifting out, I would get paid out at SP, which would be obviously bigger than the 6.5 that I'd taken. So I could, on the strength of 1 or 2 £30 worth, I'd bet £30. So if it went out to 7.5, I would get an extra £30. If it went out to 8.5, I would get an extra 60, and if it went out to 9, I would get an extra 90. So I added that onto the lay liability that I could afford to trade at. So to find a reasonable, the right stake, I used this adjustment feature here and kept my eye on that lay liability there while I was doing it. So I added one or two figures in here. I'll just put that back to 0. We're on a liability of 197 there, £38 at the moment, which is near enough £200. So I could probably let that go up to somewhere around 300 and get paid out at SP and still be okay. Now afterwards, when I work things out, that isn't how things worked out in practice. So while I was trying to get laid, I put in figures here. A 1 puts the liability up to 206, a 2 puts it up to 215, so a 5 puts it up to 242, and we still haven't got rid of this this losing liability there. Now I eventually finished up putting 10 in, which got me out at 33 pence when the horse did actually lose. Now the starting price actually finished up at odds of 9, which if I was paid out at 9, that would be 8 times 30 instead, so I would have got paid out £240, which would have left me £47.38 short if the horse had won. So I would have to try and recover £47 on my free bet from a £30 free bet, which would have left me somewhat out of pocket. Now if I hadn't done anything at all, I would have only lost £9.17, so I would think it actually finished up quite close what I could have made if it recovered if it had won, and what I would have lost if it lost and I'd just placed a normal stake at 10. However, I didn't do that. I bet 31.93, sorry, laid 31.93 at 10. The horse lost, and I came out with a profit of 33 pence. So I escaped by the skin of my teeth. And by the way, the horse got beaten easily. The high draw runners won the race. So that's something that you might consider if you bet and then your lay odds really start to drift. You can bank on the SP may grow. You can refresh the Bet365 screen and check to see that they have got bigger, and then you can add you can take into consideration a bit of extra payment if the horse wins. Add that onto your liability in your head, and then use the adjustment feature at the bottom. You can put negatives in it as well as positive figures, and just see what happens to your lay liabilities, and in that way you can maybe save yourself from a definite loss, and just get out with a profit if you're lucky, or at least very little damage.